Welcome to Circle of Hearts Radio. Journey with Grandmother Allayah as she enters her magical world of relics, sacred sites, and ancient crystal skulls. Meet with exciting trailblazer authors and individuals shifting the consciousness of humanity. Send her your questions to be answered on air on her monthly segment, Ask the Oracle. And now your host, Grandmother Allayah, in the sanctuary on the airwaves on OMTimes Radio.
Welcome to Circle of Hearts Radio on OMTimes Media. I'm your hostess, Allayah, for this hour. Today, I have a special guest. All my guests are special, but it's another example how spirit influences this show. I'm going to bring you on is Cara Rose, a documentary filmmaker and founding partner in OneRiver Productions. What had happened is I have one of my friends, Marlene Switzlaw, the Rainbow Scribe, and she wrote me and said, you need to watch this trailer of the Bridgewalkers. And I did, and I was so touched. It's such a beautiful story. I was telling Cara, I said I cried. And then I wrote her, and she agreed to be on. And again, this is spirit making connections, and it's always like following your inner voice. So without much more ado, I'd like to introduce you to Cara Rose, who follows her heart and her passion in her filmmaking. So how are you doing, Cara?
Oh, I'm doing great. Thank you. I appreciate for you having me on.
Oh, this is wonderful. Like I told you earlier, earlier today, I was watching Bridgewalkers again, and I'm watching it, and tears are coming down my eyes, and my husband says, "What's the matter with you?" And I'm going. Every time I watch it, I see and feel a different level. The way you made this, even from the beginning, the dark clouds and then the light in the middle and the heartbeat and the drum. It takes you into this personal journey. It's like you leave the world where you are right now, whether you're sitting in your kitchen or any place, and you're taken. That's like I say, it's just a spiritual journey. It really is amazing. I mean, what was your background, or how did you get involved in this vision?
This vision, honestly, is obviously through spirit, and this film was made by spirit. I really often don't call myself as much a director as I do a midwife, somebody that just allows spirit to birth beautiful ancient wisdom through this medium of film. My background isn't in film. What my background and my passion was for the ancient wisdom and this quest for truth that I've been on for so long. And when I kept meeting with tribal elders and just personally experiencing ceremony, prophecies, ancient traditions, beautiful ancient knowledge, and these deep connections to the land, I couldn't deny but gather a film crew, and that started about 6 years ago up in Greenland, where the ice was melting and the trees were going back after 20,000 years. And I just jumped in and I said, okay, I'm going to get a film crew. And my partner and I both believed that our passion and our joy would guide us with spirit all the way.
And it's, just even the part about the trees when he was saying, I'm calling the uncle, and you know why. Because I can't say his name. When he was
Ungangak, the elder of in the Kalalit Eskimo, Ungangak.
I mean, he's amazing. Just his energy alone is you just can sit in front of him and just take it all in. But when he was saying that part in the film, when he has that gathering of people and he's explaining about the growth of greenery. And, to take a piece and, this didn't exist thousands of years ago, hundreds of years ago in Greenland, And it's like a rebirth. And
Yeah.
even the whole theme of your film, it does seem like it has to do with the sacred circle and the rebirth. It seems like we're coming back
Yeah.
to the other ways. So, how did you get the name Bridgewalkers? Oh boy, see, I told you I'm so zoned out from the movie.
Bridgewalkers, yeah, Bridgewalkers is a name I heard from an Aboriginal elder, that are those who truly walk with spirit. And in Bridgewalkers, the film, the definition that I feel these elders represent is those who bridge the mind to the heart
Yeah.
heart to the land, and the land to all people, to the one human family. And you're a Bridgewalker, and there are many in the audience, I'm sure, listening right now that are Bridgewalkers. Those that really follow their heart and in service to our Creator and our beloved Earth.
It does seem like this is the process that we're becoming aware of. I know a lot of people. What I liked about the film was a lot of people are drawn, let's say, to the ways of the indigenous elders. But this takes you almost into their hearts and minds. I mean, a lot,
Yes.
people will go to ceremony or, they'll recreate things. And it's not judgment, but it seems almost superficial. Even in my own mind, some of the things that I've done, and I'm watching this, and I'm going, this is the heart of the people. This is how they're thinking, how they're feeling, and we've only touched upon the surface in our modern day world.
Yeah, these people they just allowed us to see that vulnerable side that not many often show each other. But they show that because I believe, and I didn't know I was even going to go into the wounds of the Indigenous. I thought I was going into ceremony, but ultimately we made this film as a ceremony. So you'll see that when we go into the heart, all of us, we've got to go through the wounds, the trauma, the drama, whatever has unfolded in our life or in past lives. We've got to move through those wounds so we can get to the whole and healed heart. And that's what these elders are showing us, the path to that incredible, joyful heart that often can be underneath wounds of the past.
And it was amazing, that information, to listen to them talk. And personally, I don't know where I've been, but I didn't realize the depth of the abuse, etc. that so many went through. Like I said, I don't know where I was.
I know. I too. And it wasn't until 1978 that these elders in Canada were actually allowed to come forward without being put in jail for ceremony. Ceremony was not allowed. They were not allowed to do that. And being taken, their kids were taken from them for up to 10 years at a time. I had to put that in the film because that level of continuation of colonization had to be spoken of.
And I think
to understand their wounds, and then to understand that they offer us they offer us their gifts freely to all people, and that's just a grace and a humility, that just a willingness to serve in such a deep way that I continue to be inspired by, and continue to go all over the world capturing the wisdom and these incredible people living their purpose.
Yeah, because I don't think many. I mean, there's probably, people would say, no, well, I knew that, but I'm going to say from my point of view, that really understand, like you said, how they were wounded and how it made them stronger in many ways. And the fact of being able to, heal from it, to come back to spirit, because the underlying things in this film is constantly, like you said, the sharing their story, empowering people back to spirit.
Yeah, and just to, even though the film only opens with the wounds, it's not the entire piece, but I believe that is so important because wounds are universal. And I can tell you when people watch this film, they do cry. And I've cried. I've cried many different times watching it because it taps into that part of us like, oh, me too. Oh, yeah, this is an experience that even my own wounds can surface from. And when they surface, wow, can we ever heal? So it is a film that can heal when we stay open to the possibility, you know, and we've got to all choose or not choose. But, boy, if we choose, that's the journey I'm on.
Yeah.
Let's look at the wounds. Let's go through them and let's get to the joy.
And I really think this is such a timely message because if you look at what's going on in the earth now, you know, you have that chaotic energy. And, you know, people are getting so hooked into it that a story like this, it's not even really a story. I can't quite label. You know, it's inspirational. It's authentic. It's something that truly comes from the heart, and yet it's very simple. They're not telling you, well, this is the way it is. Like, you know, some teachers tell you, well, you know, this is it. They just open their hearts and say, you know, let's look at this. Let's connect back to Mother Earth, and I know we're going to be heading to a break soon, but when we do, I'd like to start talking about the ceremony and drums and the heartbeat. Sure. You know, the heartbeat.
And, you know, and even when you say the simplicity, you know, truth is always simple. Ancient truth, very simple. And I just wanted to highlight what you said because I feel like that's so important, what you got out of that. Truth is so simple.
Yeah, and it makes you wonder why
the film.
Yeah, why they wanted to suppress them so much, you know.
Well, there's a lot of power in what they understood.
So we'll continue in a few minutes.
Thank you.
Bringing you the best of the conscious minds in the world. OMTimes Radio, your conscious lifestyle on steroids. Simone Milasas would like you to know that business can be fun, which is why she wrote the book, Joy of Business. What if you could have the joy of business rather than the stress and struggle? Most of the time, the only thing stopping you from a thriving business is you. In the Joy of Business book, Simone gives you access consciousness tools and pragmatic ways to get out of your own way and to create the business, life, and living you know is possible and beyond what this reality says is achievable. Business is joy. It's creation. It's generative. It can be the adventure of living. You can purchase your copy of the book through Amazon or Joy of Business website, www.accessjoyofbusiness.com.
Do you want to be a better communicator? Do you want to better connect with the important people in your life? Do you want to enrich your relationships? If so, join me, Matthew Cooper, on the Positive Control System show every Wednesday evening at 11 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time on OMTimes Radio. I'll meet you there.
Join Elliot Jollish, the business therapist, each Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern for the Elliot Jollish Hour, as he interviews business experts on your behalf. And you're invited to email your business questions to questions@ecjgroup.com for answers, live, on air every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern on the Elliot Jollish Hour. Host your show on IOM-FM, the radio network of OMTimes Media, one of the more recognized brand names in the conscious community, and is backed by the extensive marketing reach of OMTimes. Hosting a show on IOM-FM immediately connects you with our extensive dedicated community. Free your mind. Expand your soul. OMTimes Radio. IOM-FM.
Well, we're back with Cara Rose, and I thought it was interesting to hear the drums. I'm going, where did that come from? I'm going, but the whole thing, and like I said, in watching Bridgewalkers, it's an experience. It's a journey, and the use of the drums, even right in the beginning, connecting with the visual, you're brought, it's like it grounds you.
Yeah, drops you right into your heart, and that's why they use those drums. They know that that's the sound of, our Mother Earth. That's her heart, and that's the sound they've heard in the winds of, literally dropping in and connecting to that Mother Earth. Those are those sounds that they heard, and they imitated them in instruments. And it's the most ancient sound, the drum, but boy, does it drop you right into your own heart. And we even had a scientist there that had measured the resonant sounds of Earth, and they sound exactly like fetal heart tones.
Really?
Da, 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 da. And this is Elizabeth Rauscher. She was there with Dave Corshane, the tribal elder in Canada, and he invited her, and she came with this beautiful sound, and everyone's like, well, we know that sound. That's the drums. That's fetal heart tones. That's our heart. And that's beautiful, and we really connect and understand that. So I wanted to share that. Thank you for bringing that up.
Oh, no, I'm glad, because I remembered that, and I wasn't sure how to, bring it up, but you brought it in great, great. Because, again, it's the science with the mystic. It's a combination, because, it's like the logic or the dualistic brain, the intuitive and the logic. And when you can combine the both, saying, the drums, the sound, is exactly like the fetal heartbeat. We have science evidence.
Yeah.
It seems to connect with people. It's like, oh, okay, this is not fabrication of the mind or something. There's basis for this. So
yeah, and science and spirituality, they are coming back together. They were together, in the ancient times, and they're returning. I find more scientists that understand the depth and level of what the tribal elders are saying from their science perspective, but also from just feeling into the truth. And they are like, they can sit and quantify it, but they can also say, wow, these tribal elders knew what we knew. Algonquin in Greenland said for years, the ice is melting, and the trees are growing back, and their prophecies told this time and time again, and science says the exact same thing. Science seems to be a little bit behind the elders, if I may say so, in my humble opinion.
Yeah, it's...
what they've been saying now is, oh my gosh, you're right. The ice is melting. The trees are growing back.
Basically, society is, finally waking up to the point. Going back to the uncle. I love that name.
Yeah.
I really, anybody that has a chance, to view this, I mean, he's the most beautiful, heart-centered person. I mean, they all are, but he just takes you right in.
Yeah.
And the things of seeing Greenland, I never realized how beautiful that was. I always think it's this whole, dispassionate, no emotional place. But to watch this is really beautiful. Can you go into a little bit more of the prophecy and the fire and ice story?
Sure. So Algonquin, as he told me, and how it's told in the film, is that he was telling the United Nations in the early 1970s that the ice is melting, and no one was listening. But what he realized, and what his quest became, is that he knew that if he could melt the ice in the heart of man, if we truly dropped into our hearts and got into that beautiful place where we know the truth, that we could see, that the ice truly is melting and the trees have grown back, and we need to pay attention to our earth and all she provides for us. And they did this fire and ice ceremony to honor, like Greenland, for them, they were setting a sacred fire. Okay, that sacred fire is spirit, creator. It's tapping into all of our one source of the human family, from whence we came. And when we light that beacon of light, if you will, at the top of Greenland, they were honoring an ancient prophecy that was happening in real time. The trees were growing back, and so they set that sacred fire aflame with prayers from ashes, from prayer tribal elders from all over that had put their prayers into their own ashes, and they brought those ashes into this sacred fire. Wow. So that not only the prayers at the top of the world, but the prayers from all over the world, representing the 4 races, representing all people, would come together in this one prayer of understanding our incredible ability to connect to our own hearts and melt the ice in the heart of man, so that we may all see our outer world too, and honor the fact that we do need to rise up together and heal not only our inner world, that heart, but our outer world, our beloved and incredible source of life, Mother Earth. And that's what Angkangkuk was doing.
I was going to say, and if the listeners, like I said, I keep on saying, you just got to see this to watch it. And when you're talking about the ashes, it was wisdom keepers or elders from all over. I mean, there was this Tibetan monk, yes, or Rinpoche, and from the Easter Islands. I mean, it wasn't. Sometimes people think indigenous elders. Often they think, oh, well, Native Americans. No, this was from all over, all directions.
Absolutely. And wherever you go on our planet, there are indigenous people represented. I lived in Brazil for a long time, and I said to the Brazilian people, well, where are your indigenous? They said, we don't have any. And I said, well, that's interesting, because the entire Amazon forest still has people living in the ancient ways from tribes that are just not necessarily embraced by mainstream, but they are there. And that made me even more empowered to do this film and say, everybody, there are these ancient people, and they have been the caretakers of our earth. It's time to pay attention and see what their gifts are. As much as we all have gifts, they hold a very important gift right now in sharing the ancient wisdom and sharing their deep connections to the land, or, woven through with ceremony. And ceremony always takes us inward, and inward really is the ultimate journey. It is for all of us. And then when we go inward, we're able to really connect to those around us and our land, our earth.
Well, I think
so that's what this film does, and that's what these elders are doing, and they continue to do it now. And it's quite powerful for my own personal quest of spiritual, evolution.
Mm. I think what was interesting too, that there was no language barrier. I was watching the Amazon elders, speaking to the uncle. And he just sat there absorbing it, and they just kept on tapping his heart and, reaching out. And it was like, wow. Yeah. The communication was a heart language. It wasn't necessarily, okay, you have to understand, Amazonian or, whatever dialect.
Portuguese, they spoke Portuguese. Yeah.
Oh, Portuguese.
And you can't deny, too, because they came all the way to Greenland to say, and that was a beautiful scene in the film where they're saying, we understand you, Uncle, and the ice melting, because our Amazon has been burning. That's the lungs of our earth, all of the medicinal plants and trees that really offer all of us this oxygen, this deep relationship we have with those trees, and the medicine within the Amazon. Mm. They were there to hold that piece. And then Angkangkuk is there to hold the water piece, sacred water, which is like gold now. Pay attention, everybody. It's so important for us to honor, what brings us life, water, oxygen, the food that Mother Earth provides for us. They really brought me back to the land. And I live in mainstream. I'm right in the bubble of the material world. So I very much can say from a personal experience, this changed not only my life, but my children and my husband's life. He went from being a builder to being a farmer, organic farmer. This film and those elders and the wisdom that they carry and continue to carry, absolutely, if those are willing to drop in their hearts, miracles happen, and people get connected to the land again in the ancient way that we all did, our ancestors did. We've just forgotten, and it's time for us to all awaken to that. Connect to the land and connect to Creator. That's what Chief Arbo says in the film. It's that simple. go out, be quiet for 20 minutes a day, whatever it is. Don't be quiet all day long, but go connect and listen to our natural world. You know, the wind, the spirit of the wind, the water, the birds. It's so beautiful to be in that connected place. And when we are in that connected place, we know we're in our hearts as well.
Yeah, because I saw so much of that in film. Like I said, the word film, just sometimes, words like, you don't find the exact words for it. I mean, this is a personal experience. When you sit down and you look at this film, you're opening your heart to spirit.
Yeah.
And really seeing everything that there is. As I said, the uncle, I think he mentioned that all is life, all is a consciousness, whether it's the wind, the water, and, the elements.
Everything has a spirit. Everything has a spirit, and we are all interconnected. The interconnectedness of all life, very powerful when we think of it that way. We can't deny it, the truth of that.
I mean, people can read it, they can be in a thing, but sometimes the visual, like I said, that's what we're bringing for. Seeing this and, listening to it and becoming so absorbed that you actually are in the film.
That's true. That's true. And thank you for saying that, because we made it as ceremony. That's why the drums and the breath, you hear it. The beautiful instruments, indigenous instruments from all over the world. We used so many that bring you back to connections to the land and our Creator. Which, as Dave Corshane says, this land is the face of our Creator. Yeah. And when we can feel that, it's like, we land deep inside ourselves.
Oh, here we go again. All right, we'll be back in a few more minutes.
Thank you.
Bringing you the best of the conscious minds in the world. OMTimes Radio, your conscious lifestyle on steroids. OMTimes Magazine is one of the leading online content providers of positivity, wellness, and personal empowerment. A philanthropic organization, their net proceeds are funneled to support worldwide charity initiatives via Humanity Healing International. Through their commitment to creating community and providing conscious content, they aspire to uplift humanity on a global scale. OMTimes, co-creating a more conscious lifestyle.
Radio Namaste leads you down the yellow brick road into portals of consciousness with the blue collar goddess as your host. Interviews with humans who could be famous or just popular, and answers to everything are on the agenda. Tune into OMTimes Radio and drop in on Thursdays at 3 Eastern. It's a different brand of enlightenment.
Hi, this is Sylvia Henderson, intuitive life coach and energy healer. Are you ready to elevate and rise way above your normal? Be sure to listen to my show, Intuitive Transformations, on OMTimes Radio, Sunday evenings at 9 p.m. Eastern. Get the inspiration you need to transform your life.
Being a radio host on IOM-FM allows you to build your show on a rich platform with the power of the internet to fulfill your outreach goals and connect with a very specialized and global online audience, unlimited by time and distance. OMTimes Radio will provide you with web relevance, a recognizable conscious brand, and with the standard of excellence that has accompanied every single OMTimes endeavor. Host your show with OMTimes Radio Network. Free your mind. Expand your soul. OMTimes Radio. IOM-FM.
So we're back with Cara Rose again, and time goes too short and too many things to be brought up. When we were talking about ceremony, automatically you connected to the sacred circle. Everybody comes together holding hands, and they're one. It doesn't matter from what part of the world that they're from. It's like, I use the with my circle of hearts. You have a circle of hearts connecting, and it's just a beautiful energy. And they bring all the different ceremonies in. And one thing I thought was interesting that you can, if you'll elaborate on, is how all these different cultures have a way of greeting each other. It is something very personal. Either, it's like head to head or sharing or that was brought out in the film, which is a very important concept in itself of respect for everybody and
Absolutely.
how to bring up, and they keep on also saying, children are our future. We need, as wonderful as technology is, our children need to come back to the land.
Dave Corshane says, and the chief and spiritual leader of the Anishinaabe in Canada, the children must be at the center of our circles, wherever we are. And within those circles, every voice is honored. The elders, unlike mainstream can be, the elders' voice is vital. And all voices, women, for the Anishinaabe, for the Maori, these are matriarchal societies. They know peace because they listen to the women, and their prophecies say the women will lead the way. And that prophecy is for all of us. The women, they don't know war. They know peace. They know nurturing. They know loving. They know creation within them, and they know creation around them. And that's where you really see the honoring of all voices in a truly democratic way. It's powerful and it's palpable, and that's in the film too. And thank you for bringing that up, that circle. It's the circle that we see, they see the circle in everywhere in our earth and within us. That circle is the eternal part. It's that eternal life that we can never deny. That we're here for a time, we come together, and yet, our work is eternal, and we as spirits are eternal, and that's that circle.
And I know that, just like I said, time is, too short on this interview, but with Dave, this was important. He brought out so many important messages. But I see on the Turtle Lodge, I hope to have him in the beginning of next year. I wasn't able to, get hold of him this year, but I've seen he's doing work, like you said, with, the youngsters, and also in Canada, they've established a hospital where the traditions are respected. The medicine is respected.
And that's Dave Corshane is setting that up where he is in Manitoba, Canada, at the Turtle Lodge, which is a vision that he's held forever. That he, absolutely, it's all about the ancient traditions and the honoring of children, for sure, is his big piece. That's also in the film, but also on Gangkok as well, is creating his own healing hospital in Greenland.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So these are where we're really, these are the Bridgewalkers, where they're bridging the ancient to the modern. And that's beautiful work, taking the ancient traditions of healing and ceremony into, truly doing the healing that is done, through the ancient ways.
Because it's, you look at our modern world now, just in the States, they're just starting to, open the door a little bit on essential oils, saying, well, maybe it has some merit. But that history goes way back to the Middle East and to, Egypt. That was their medicine. Plus, with the Native Americans, plant medicine, the herbals.
Absolutely.
So, as far as the States goes, we catch up late on a lot of things.
Do we? I've used plant medicines for years. My children were raised that way. Everything that we ever need is provided for us by our Creator. It's all there. We have a pharmacy of natural medicines right out in our world growing, and we just need to remember how to use them. and not use the chemical-based, artificial apple, if you will, of medicines.
Can you imagine if, let's say, even if something like that opened up in Egypt? If they utilized some of the original medicines from there, or Greece.
Sure.
If all these, templates that these elders are establishing, if it can go into mainstream, let's say Egypt, Greece, or France with the scenes, etc. There's such potential of all over the world coming back to the basics, the simplicity, the purity.
I believe it's happening. I mean, I know it's happening. I've studied the medicinal plants for years. I studied them with traditional Chumash women, and they were teaching and writing books alongside a pharmacist. So, there's that bridging too, where we can say, okay, great, modern medicine, this, and guess what? Let's also incorporate the ancient plant medicines. We can't deny them. They're here. They work. They certainly do, and they strengthen us on every level. So to really understand that, I think it's so important. And these elders, they know that, and they're really moving forward with their leadership in showing that.
So when there's so much symbology to this word Bridgewalker, because it's not necessarily always even the elders. Like you said, it can. I think on one of the interviews it was titled, "Am I a Bridgewalker?" It's these other people bringing in. All right, well let's stop the pesticides. Let's clean the waters. They may be modern day people, but they're doing the same work. Of the elders.
Absolutely. Sacred water right now, if you look around the world and you look on the internet, there are people doing major things with healing of the waters because it's necessary right now. It's so important. And it's been told again to me by these elders in this new film I'm doing with Dave Corshane and the women up in the Anishinaabe area of they're absolutely doing so many healings around the waters and doing water ceremonies every day, which women are the ones that always work with water. It's the waters of creation, and they believe that the women have the waters of creation within them for birth, and they're the ones that always handle the water. Sacred water, sacred ceremony, beautiful. And that's going to be our next film.
Yeah.
Because it's just going to take it from Bridgewalkers, which is kind of Indigenous 101, to the next level. Where are these action pieces? Where's the leadership now being established in truly living and breathing these ancient traditions in an incredible way, offered again always to all people, all races.
It seems like a lot of your work is an emotional aha moment.
I got a lot of those.
as I'm seeing it, that when people see this, they're saying, because so many people say, well, what can I do? Everything seems so overwhelming. They're so lost in the technical world, or even if you talk about spiritual path, they go, well, that's for somebody else. But then they'll complain about pollution and stuff. And, I think if they watch this film, this visual, it gets into them that, they're spiritual beings. If they just return to being authentic and feeling their feet against the ground of, the earth, and feeling it, recognizing, recognizing it's all life, like say, even the uncle, when he was looking at these beautiful icebergs, which totally amazed me. He goes, the waters are the tears, when a piece breaks off. I said, I fell in love with him.
Powerful. I know people really do, because he does. He's got that. He's got a great way with people and reaching out to them and really letting them understand, what the importance of water or the ice or or melting the heart in the ice in the heart of man. Yeah. It's powerful. It's so powerful. And these elders continue to say, we are the hope. We are the ones we've been praying for. I know you know that, Allayah, but it just continues to be the truth. And that's why I'm doing this next film on leadership, because we all are leaders, and that's the message in this next film. We're all leaders. And to know how and why, I have people ask me all the time, how did you find your purpose? How did you find your purpose? And I tell my children this as well. Follow your joy, just like you did with your radio piece, or doing what you do, not doing the radio stuff where you're channeling. You follow your joy and you move through those wounds, and you know that what leads you to that whole and healed heart always reveals your purpose. It does. And that's why we show the vision quests and the youth going through vision quests. So they can find their visions, find their dreams, honor who they are. They might not know at that moment why that dream was important or why that vision came to them while they're on a vision quest, but they'll know later on in life. And Creator just lights, the path along the way. You step forward and the path is lit. So that's what this film's about. We are the hope.
What I had mentioned to you before is there, and I would love to see him in all schools. To show them this. Is there any hope for that?
Let's pray that in together, shall we? Many teachers come forward. And it's an interesting thing, because within our institutions, the history that's been presented is different than this. The truth of colonization has never been told. The truth. So it might rattle a few cages, and that's okay, because the truth always surfaces, and it's worth it. And there are many teachers that say, well, maybe I can't get it in my school system. And I say, well, then that's okay. Let's do a private screening. Yeah. We can show this. Let's let it go viral on the internet. Right now we're selling DVDs, and we're trying to raise money to do more films, but there is ultimately this film as a giveaway, and how we get it to school systems. I've thought of one way, they just literally going from school to school in my own region, and then those that have come forward to ask what they might be able to do it as well. And we can get it out there. Sorry, we're breaking.
Oh, that's okay. We'll continue this.
Okay, thank you.
Bringing you the best of the conscious minds in the world. OMTimes Radio. Your conscious lifestyle on steroids. The number one reason girls drop out of school in sub-Saharan Africa is lack of access to feminine hygiene products. The Pads for Schoolgirls Project, an outreach of Humanity Healing International, is changing this paradigm by setting up sewing programs at schools, teaching girls a vocational skill, while producing the reusable pads that help keep them attending classes. The girls pay it forward by making and giving pad kits to other girls in need. To learn more, visit humanityhealing.org. Humanity Healing is where your heart is.
If you've ever said, I do want it all. I do want happiness. I do want love. And I do desire the happily ever after fairy tale life, then this show is for you. Join me, Dana Nicole Brandon, for my internationally acclaimed show, Bridal Talk Radio, every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Pacific Time, where I'll bring you the top experts in the fields of communication, money, relationships, finance, pleasure, play, travel, sexuality, parenting, real estate, adventure, comfort, care, passion, and love.
Live with medium Lisa Phoenix, Mediumship Messages and Musings, explores mediumship and all things metaphysical. Lisa Phoenix invites you to reach above and beyond your everyday experiences to explore new dimensions in the spirit world. She will do live readings to connect callers to their loved ones in spirit, shares engaging stories and teachings from her own personal experience, and will have intriguing conversations with other mediums, spiritual teachers, and healers to help you understand the metaphysical world so you can connect to these forces in your day-to-day life. Join your host on this magical and metaphysical journey into the world of spirit every Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time.
Host your show on IOM-FM, the radio network of OMTimes Media, one of the more recognized brand names in the conscious community, and is backed by the extensive marketing reach of OMTimes. Hosting a show on IOM-FM immediately connects you with our extensive dedicated community. Free your mind. Expand your soul. OMTimes Radio. IOM-FM.
Well, we're back with Cara Rose in the last 15 minutes. Everything's going too quickly. But I think the distribution, I see this, like I said, this story and meeting you came through a spiritual connection of my friend Marlene.
Yeah.
And then I tried to, I saw it, I'm going, oh, wow, then, trying to bring it forth here. And the thing of it going in schools, I can see where people don't know. Once they see it, I mean, it's, I'm not just being, saying, this is great for no reason. I'm just saying it really impacts you.
Yeah.
But it can't impact you unless people are aware of it.
I know.
So,
it's getting out through film festivals. It has gone around the world in the most incredible way. And that's when I really know Spirit is working for all of us in the best of ways. And that sometimes I just need to get out of the way because, it's in Israel. It's being shown in India right now, or in October. Torino, Italy, these different festivals that honor the environment and or spirit and or the oceans, all of those kinds of film genres that those film festivals tend to draw us in. And interestingly enough, it's been a little bit more challenging in the United States. I don't know why, maybe there's more, it's just a timing thing because this is a timeless film. So if it takes us whenever Spirit reveals it here, I know it will be embraced. When people are ready for it, it will shine. And it was sold out at the Santa Barbara National Film Festival. 100 people were turned away, and then they showed up, the next day for the second showing. So, and all the elders were there. They were given standing ovations. They were honored in such a beautiful way, in such a healing way for all the times that that people like this, First Nations peoples, have not been honored. This was truly an honoring, and people couldn't help but clap and applaud and stand up for them. And it was beautiful to watch because we had all of the elders fly in.
Oh, wow.
And that was powerful. So I keep that as my big heart memory.
Yeah, so, I'm listening to it. I'm getting all, teary-eyed. I just can imagine those beautiful people up there.
I know.
So I think, some things to, the listeners, that I know I have, certain people that listen all the time. If they will just take a moment, we'll put this out there. It's on the, own media page, the radio page. I'll be sharing the podcast with you. Monday I'll, get that out to you. And the people that listen, just share it with your friends. People say, well, what can I do? Well, this is very simple. Use your computer, watch it, and share it.
Yeah.
And
it's true. I get emails all the time from people crying from Denmark, Finland, people saying, oh, Anganka came and he did a screening, or they saw it at a film festival, and they were so touched. What can I do? They often just say, what can I do? And I say the same thing. So thank you. Tell your friends. It's a beautiful film, and it's so honoring. And when we honor others, of course, we're always honoring ourselves. It goes both ways. And this film absolutely does that because it truly is honoring of all people.
And it's really telling us something that we know that's inside our heart. But we just need to get back to what's inside our heart. And I think people, from what I'm seeing, after all these years, even on the social media, people talking about compassionate heart, etc., etc. It's the time now. People are ready to say, okay, well, all this other stuff doesn't always work. We need to reach out to each other. We're all that we have. The earth is all we have. You know,
Yeah.
see the beauty in it. See the beauty in other people. See the beauty in other cultures. I mean, that word love has been really going around the social media like crazy, and I don't think it's a fad. I think people really feel it.
Yeah, it's true.
So that's why I'm saying to whoever's listening out there,
Yeah.
you want to do something, watch it and pass it on. And that's it's really
Thank you.
a definite aha moment. I've never really seen a movie where as soon as you hear that heartbeat, the drum, it just takes it takes you in there.
Yeah, it takes you on quite a journey. Yeah. Beautiful.
So
thank you.
Oh no, I mean I'm just thrilled that we're able to, you know, bring it out, you know, and you know, share it a little bit more. So I know you were really busy, and I was really glad to be able to at least get you for this 1 hour. When is you just started this other film now, or?
Yes, and you know, the other film ultimately takes it from the end of Bridgewalkers, where we are the hope, and then it speaks of how we are leaders. How can we be leaders according to Creator's laws? And I only have a working title on it right now, but I have to keep, you know, if you get on my website, any of you that are interested, it will begin to show the new film, and we might just turn it right around and just put it right on the internet, because we realize the power of the internet when it's used in the appropriate ways. It can just reach those who are really choosing this quest for truth.
Have you? Do you use YouTube?
Yes, I do. I do use YouTube, and I do use Vimeo. And you know, ultimately, you know, we've tried to get this film Bridgewalkers out and raise money for the elders, more filming of the elders. But ultimately, I think it's a giveaway when Spirit offers something freely. So, you know, I say that now, but I'm learning more and more just to get the information out there. I just spent 6 days filming the elders in this amazing leadership lodge, honoring all voices, and really putting women in the leadership roles they totally deserve on that quest for peace and truth. And we're just we're going to get this out very quickly. We're not going to dance through the film festivals necessarily unless it's really appropriate to get it out that way. We think we'll use the internet. We'll give it as a giveaway, which tribal people are so good at giveaways. I mean, it's part of their tradition. Just offer the information freely. So that will happen soon enough with this next film.
Yeah, that's part of that sharing that's shown in that film.
Yeah, exactly. We show a giveaway, and it's inspiring because in our society, you know, it's often based on a monetary exchange. For Dave Corshane, when it's about spirit, absolutely not. It's a giveaway. And I'm learning from him as I go. I might be a slow learner, but I'm learning. So the next film, we're just going to turn it and, you know, however spirit wants it. We won't hold it.
What is, can you tell everybody your website?
It's www.one, spelled out, O-N-E, OneRiverProductions.org, O-R-G.
Okay.
OneRiverProductions, plural.org. And that will get you to our website, our Facebook, our Twitter. And please do, you know, see the trailer. See if it tugs at your heartstrings. It certainly tugs at mine, even to this day, and I've seen it thousands of times.
Yeah, that's
but ancient wisdom never gets old.
That's true.
It doesn't. It doesn't.
Because
it fits right in today.
It is today. Isn't that really? I don't know who said it. Maybe it was. As far as again as the circle goes, you know, the 3 layers. Ancient. It's not the future. It's part of the now. It's that circle, that continuous circle of information that's coming round and round.
It's that timeless. The unfolding now is my favorite way, or the unfolding present moment. It is timeless. It's beyond time and space, and that's when you know it's the truth and it's Creator's wisdom.
Yeah, so it's really like I said, I'll see, getting it out more on the social media that I have here, and you'll have to keep me in touch about the new one coming in. And
I will then. And you're great. Your work, of course, you are a fellow Bridgewalker. I mean, you're living it, and we all can. It's all there for all of us. However big or small our visions are, honor our dreams and visions, because we've all got them. And that will lead us to the purpose.
Yeah, all the one recurrent theme in all different religions and cultures, I was always interested in the ancient Chinese, it's symbolically of heaven to earth.
Yeah.
And if you put spirit and put your physical body there, and you make this tube bring it through and connects to earth, and it's just back and forth. And everybody, like you said, everybody is a bridge walker if they just open their mind. I think this again was the uncle that had said that the biggest thing is to bridge the mind to the heart.
Yeah, it's a choice. It's a choice. It's always free will.
Oh, Cara.
It's a powerful choice. Thank you.
Thank you, Cara, so much.
Much love. Much love to you and everyone. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.